Michigan here with impact players. Defensively, I think that I'm going to go with more than one, or I would like to go with more than one. But in spirit of all the conversation I brought up earlier and have kind of throughout the week regarding linebackers and coverage, I'll talk about Junior Colson. I think he's as talented as any linebacker in the conference, right? Like intangibly, like he brings everything to the table from a physical perspective, and he's really become a leader of the team. We've seen that since last year, so I think all of those things are there for him. I just think instinctively he has to get like worlds better in the past game, and he's shown the ability to do it. It's not like Junior Colson isn't good. He's very good. He's very talented. He's just got to kind of iron some things out here. And this is a perfect get right game for him. And I think he had one against Penn State. They played well against Penn State, but let's not lie to each other. Penn State's game plan sucked. Like they did not attack Michigan's linebackers at all. Like I would have loved to have been in that room as a guy who's never called a game before in his life, nor have I played football since the young ripe age of 14. But all the same, I think I could have went in there and dialed up something prettier than what James Franklin did 2 weeks ago in the Big House. And so with that in mind, I think we need to see some more Junior Colson, because what game does Michigan need a guy like Colson most? That's Ohio State, right? And that's the most win game, blah, blah, blah. So I think this is the get right game for Junior Colson to prove to himself and the staff that he belongs in the field, because we saw them pull him often against Indiana. I mean, he was almost not in ever on passing downs against Indiana. A team that passes as much as IU, Michigan showed it did not trust Junior Colson to be out there in obvious passing downs, going with Jimmy Rolder and Kalel Mullings and just trying to find someone who can stick for them at linebacker in coverage. And that just did not happen. But against Penn State, he played far more, dominated the snaps. I think Rolder only had 2, maybe 3 snaps in that game, and he was pushing 20 in the game before. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But Colson is a guy that is going to determine a lot of things in that game, because he will be relied upon against the run and the pass equally more than any other player, in my opinion. And I think that's ultimately not the difference in the game, but I think that certain, like if his play is not good, the Michigan State is going to have more success than we're anticipating offensively. And if he plays well, then I think they're going to have even less success, which we don't expect them to have a ton of as it is. But if Junior Colson's able to play good, I think Michigan ultimately shuts them down. So who do you see defensively for Michigan standing out in this game?
Man, there's so many options. Junior Colson is a really good one. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I guess mine would be Mike Morris. I think he has the opportunity to be the guy on the defensive line, right? And he's shown that he's capable of it. But these type of games is where you cement yourself and your name in lore. And another really strong game from him typically would probably bode well for Michigan's chances on Saturday. I mean, and of course you could pick any defensive back that you wanted out of that group, and it would be a good argument too. But I think, if the defensive line can create pressure, and if you watched the Michigan State versus Washington game, you saw what would happen if you get a guy in Peyton Thorne's face, or you try to make him do snap decisions. 9 times out of 10, he's going to throw a pretty bad ball and make some mistakes. So if Michigan doesn't give him time to throw in the pocket, again, I think it bodes well for Michigan's chances. The less time for plays to develop, the better it's going to be for the Michigan defense. And, and I really think, Mike Morris is key to that. And, Maize Smith as well, he's going to get a ton of attention. And I'm sure there's going to be double team opportunities for Morris as well. But, Michigan's got to get a consistent pass rush in this game. And if they don't, and that doesn't mean that they're going to lose, but that just means the back half of that defense is going to have to work harder. And I think, we've seen plenty of games where the defensive line was so dominant that the linebacker, it takes less stress off everyone. It takes less stress off the linebackers. It takes less stress off the corners, the safeties. So I think, a dominant, it doesn't even have to be dominant. A very good pass rush that's effective, I think will be key for the Michigan defense. And if it ends up turning to dominance, then we're talking about a big time win for Michigan here. But yeah, I think it really starts with the defensive line and works its way